What's up, y'all? This your boy Big Rob, and welcome back to Big Rob Reacts, man. And what I want y'all to do is continue to like, comment, and subscribing, and we're gonna keep going up, man. We almost at that 200 mark, man. I swear, I appreciate all the love, all of it, man. And this song I ain't think I'll be able to get into, cause I didn't look at him like this no more. But I'm gonna see what they talking about because it's a Dirk's evil crip assassin, how he set up Lil Pap's murder. Um, cause I was thinking, I'm like, damn, this nigga here a rat. He doing police shit, and I'll see if he changed my mind, man. I'll see. But I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. I'm gonna do a part one, part two, and we just gonna see how it varies. You know what I'm saying? Cause it's an hour video, and I want to kind of break it down and get it all right. You know what I'm saying? So if this do good, I'm gonna do a part two for sure. I ain't gonna wait on nobody to tell me to do it. I'm gonna just do it. You know what I'm saying? But y'all like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna get into it, man. It's Bricc, baby.
Hey, it's BET weekend this week. You know what I'm saying? All the steppers gonna be in the city, right? Look, cuz, telling you like this. When you see me, you better tuck tail and run. Nigga. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's my weekend. And six, I got a dime on Charleston Whitehead.
Fucking with the
Maybe be
police.
more.
Fucking with Charles.
Me and you can't have no business. You threaten to put money on my life. I'm a victim of a crime against a gangbanger like you. And you out on fair. No. I don't want to fight.
Charles say, fuck that shit. Hell no.
I want to box. Keep on running content on my name. I'm putting kill squad.
I ain't gonna lie, that interview had me tripping. That nigga, he was too hype. He was tripping though, bro. That's why I can't. It's hard to take this nigga serious a little bit, bro.
Oh yeah,
Slot for Vaughn, right? Yeah.
They say you can't say that no more.
Police shit.
Why?
Nah, they calling him an assassin, but that interview made him look like the police, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That's some shit you ain't supposed to bring up, bro. For real.
Oh yeah, because of no. Like
They
who
say
died?
you can't say that no more.
Oh, because of FBG Cash? Or who?
Nah, cause Lil Pop.
Welcome back to another episode of Swamp Stories. For this one, we cover a man who the internet seems to take as a joke. Somebody who talks that talk but doesn't walk the walk. But as you'll see in this video, this man has a rap sheet longer
Okay, he look young on them bitches. Yeah, it look like he done went through the system a couple of times. Damn.
than Jason Love, and on top of this, he's willing to do the unthinkable, crossing his own flag for the money. And most importantly, you'll get to see who he really is behind the scenes and why he's about to spend the rest of his life in prison. So if you ever took Bricc Baby as a
Now, how do
joke,
he
this
know that?
video will certainly change your mind. But before we get into it, let me run the intro.
Okay. We gonna get past the intro though. We ain't finna do the intro
was
shit.
born to a notorious Los Angeles family. Not notorious on an official or legal level, but notorious in the sense that they were known as a serious hustling family. So given their potentially dangerous lifestyle, they smartly decided to let Zaire stay with his grandma whenever they were handling business.
That's my stepboy name, Zaire.
Basically, throughout his younger years, he was between his mom's house on Bedford and his grandma's house on Donview Place. I say that to say that his family always wanted to put him in good positions, and that included sending him to private school as well. So growing up, Zaire attended Price Christian Academy and was known as a straight-A student and standout basketball player. Now, I do want to point out that this isn't...
Y'all see how these niggas be straight A students. And then the environment, these kids grow up, they come out smart. The environments that our people put us in, it leads us astray. We go here instead of there. You're a straight A student over here, but they got straight A students in the gang culture too. So you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like they grow up around that. Boys is different, man.
This isn't modern day or something, as the school is definitely located in the hood, but the point is that his parents put him in a good position, and early on it was really paying off, as Zaire had a bright future ahead. But then, his parents would meet some people that would change his family's trajectory forever. While Zaire was in middle school, his parents would meet and build a relationship with Big Meech and Southwest T, the founders of the notorious BMF. Ooh, Ooh-wee, this took their hustle to a whole new level. Basically, they
This
started with
nigga
helping
mama
BMF
was fucking with Big Meech now? God damn, no wonder he like street shit. Okay.
expand to the West Coast, but then they were actually invited to live with them in Detroit. This was a financial opportunity of a lifetime, and Zaire's parents would take
Yeah,
up
because
on it
Meech
and
was
flee
on
to
that.
Detroit. Obviously, they would leave the kids back home to be raised by Granny, and this is when life would start to derail for Zaire. Once his parents left, he began to veer towards hanging out with his cousins in the hood, who happened to be
Crenshaw.
notorious Rolling 60s members. And unfortunately, as soon as he was introduced to the lifestyle, he knew that he wanted to be a part of the streets. But because he was only 11 to 12 years old, his cousins refused to put him onto the hood, and as a result, Zaire tried to create his own gangs.
And we started some called Inglewood, California Crip. Me and my best friend, Envelope.
Then, after giving up that idea, he decides to join something else.
From there, I joined a clique called CIP, and it was completely irresistible players. And the police end up documenting us in the gang files as Crips in Progress, CIP. So they changed it from completely irresistible players to Crips in Progress because we was getting into so much shit in the area. So that was really my introduction.
So now as a middle schooler, Zaire is roaming the West LA streets as an unofficial gang member. But then his friend's uncle would find out about this, and things would not be good for them. Well, not in the way you'd think. Instead of being upset that they're in the streets like any responsible adult should, he was just upset that they didn't join his gang.
Uncle Mike, he
That's
found out we
stupid
all was
fuck.
from his clique. And he came over there tripping one day. Like he was bullying. Like this is a big buff grown man. He came over there tripping on this one day. Like I ain't having it. Like y'all either go turn West Boulevard today or this shit over.
So now Zaire is pressured with the ultimatum of joining the West Boulevard Crips.
Nigga,
This
uncle.
was like a dream come true, except because he was told to do it, he now did not want to do it. Like, if I'm going to join somewhere, I'm going to do it because I want to, not because somebody else is telling me to do it.
I ain't finna be from West Boulevard because he trying to make me. You know, I was rebellious back then, so I started hanging with the Harlem 30s.
So now after rejecting the West Boulevards, he starts hanging out with the notorious Harlem 30s. He runs with them for a short time, but then his cousins come around and are like, you're either going to join over there or join us with the 60s.
Like my mom always had a house nearby Slauson, and all my cousins lived on Slauson, so I end up getting put on 60s like my 14th summer, but I always was affiliated.
So Zaire officially gets put onto the 60s during his 8th grade summer.
I got jumped by all man. I squatted one. He was like 19, and I squatted with like a 30-year-old and a.
Damn.
Yeah, I got knocked out.
So now he's officially a Rolling 60s member right before starting out at his private high school. He's known as Zaire Mitchell at school, and on the block he's known as Wild Bill from the Overhills. But somehow amidst his gangbanging, he's able to maintain an above 3.0 average at school and to become the backup point guard. Now you might hear backup point guard and think that he was trash, but no. You gotta know where he went to school. They were stacked. We'll get into all of that in a second, but the point is that while he's doing all this positive stuff, he's also living the life as a full-time gangbanger. When he wasn't at his Christian academy, he was knee-deep in very dangerous situations in the set. Specifically, his main expertise was robbing and extorting rappers who come to LA, and that takes us to 2004. June 29th, 2004.
What did he do? What did he do? Cause I'm looking at this nigga like, so now I ain't gonna lie, I'm looking at how he handling himself on the internet, and what I'm seeing now is like, man, you like the shit he was saying, you wouldn't even believe it, cause he lied so goddamn much, bro. Him getting choked out by what's that dude name used to be on Adam 22 show, No Jumper. I forgot his name. Big old nigga. But his brother choked him out. And I think he denied it or some shit. So the shit he be saying, I ain't believing. So this guy, he'll know Swamp Stories. I watch him. He do his research. So let's see.
2004. It's the weekend of the annual BET Awards in LA, and the Rolling 60s have nothing but extortion on their minds.
I dare you to let me build you a completely free e-commerce store.
They don't play in LA now.
In particular, on this day, Zaire and his boys have somebody they want to
Don't
target.
bullshit.
Yep, that's
Jeezy?
right, Jeezy the Snowman, and they desperately want that chain. Why him?
What?
Well, simply because he has the shiniest chain they've ever seen.
We've never seen nothing like this. You gotta think, LA, like the real Gotti diamond jewelry.
Bro, do not tell me these niggas robbed Jeezy. Bricc, baby. Let the boy come on. It can't just be. Was it him?
Diamond in each link. Like, this has never been done in LA yet. The rapper's jury is very feasible. Like, if you get you some rapper jury and go to the jeweler, you up a couple $100,000.
Unfortunately for them, they're unable to get a hand on Jeezy at the award show,
Oh, I was
so
about to
now they
say.
follow him to the club.
Shit.
It was so many of us, we pushed the security out the way and rushed the club.
So now Zaire and his boys run in the club and absolutely take it over. In fact, Zaire jumps behind the bar, grabs 2 bottles, and then stands up and clashes them together. Simultaneously, his boys go over to the DJ booth and grab the mic.
Tell the whole club to roll the 60s in here. Like, oh, like it's one of them nights.
After doing this, they wiggle over to the section that Jeezy's in, looking to snatch his chain.
We trying to ease our way to Jeezy. We see the snowman. We trying to go do our thing.
But as Jeezy's crew notice what's about to happen, they whip out their Blicks.
Yeah.
They got like a chopper. This is my first time ever seeing like a mini carbon or something.
Yeah.
Like, they got a chopper out. Like,
Yeah.
and we look back, and I just go to shake.
Yeah, that's the fucking snowman, nigga. Fuck you thought you were finna do, boy.
Jeezy and ooh, yeah. Like, what up, man?
Thankfully, the situation was stopped before it even started. But I say all that to show that at just 16 years old, this is what Zaire was about. And because of his willingness to do anything for the 60s, he was increasing his rank. This is how he earned the name in the set of Shitty or Shitro and the ability to put on new members. Well, in the late summer of 2004, he would bring his first young member to be put on the set. This would be a young friend of his by the name of Eric Holder. Eric was only 14 years old, but already thirsty and ready to put in work in the set. So of course, Zaire brings him to the set, puts him on, and he earns the nickname of Lil Shitty. Big Shitty and Lil Shitty, a duo that would forever make history in the set. So being a big homie at just 16 years old meant that Zaire had a rider by his side. At first, this meant protecting the trap, which happened to be Zaire's mom's house. This is where you could find...
The nigga was trapping out his mama house, bro. Come on, man. We all know that ain't where you do that at. Just flaunt our shit, bro. You don't do that.
Find a whole lot of money, jewelry, and illicit items inside. So because of Zaire, his mom's house became the hangout spot for the Overhill 60s.
My house was the spot. She had money and shit in the house and a lot of jewelry. So she let all the gang
I forgot his mama was a trapper too. So okay. All right, I get it. My bad, y'all. I get it.
It at the house because she had control of us. I had control of my homies, but we was like the security blanket.
Now remember, as he's committing felony robberies and hanging out on the block, he's still enrolled in private school and playing on the basketball team. So now it's the fall of 2004, and Zaire's team has a major season ahead. The team is absolutely stacked as they have a 6'10 D1 center, a 6'7 D1 wing, and the point guard is Devin Williams, who you may know is in the lab. Well, long story short, they're so good that they have an undefeated season in their league.
What I did not know is that Bricc Baby is tied to a lot of people in the industry. I did not know that shit, bro. Like Young Thug, I thought he was just a LA like Young Thug. I think he said Lil Baby. Now I know his mama was close with Meech. Who else? It's a lot of niggas. Nipsey Hussle. I didn't know that. Eric Holder, the one who killed him. Man, they got a lot of ties, bro, and I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
And they make it to the state championship game in Sacramento. Of course, they win the state championship, beating a Bay Area team like LA always does. So on paper, everything in Zaire's life is looking good. A good GPA, winning a state championship, and also getting noticed on the AAU circuit. In fact, he was playing so well that he skipped his senior year of high school to go play at a basketball prep school in Mississippi.
Damn.
Now you'd think that with this great opportunity, Zaire would go into it with a positive mentality. Now that I'm out of state, I'm going to leave the gang stuff behind me and simply focus on basketball. But sadly, for whatever reason, he's...
How not to pay off I have 20,000 on my cards. How fast can I pay these off? Minimum payments. 109 months, that'll be about
throwing that shit away.
He simply cannot let the street life go. So right after his senior year at the prep school, he catches his first case. As he's riding around Mississippi in a car with no registration, the troopers get behind him. And because he has an illegal weapon in the car, he decides to take him on a chase. So he bends a few blocks, giving him enough time to roll down the window and throw out the clip and then throw out the weapon. So then after getting rid of it, he rolls his window up and then pulls over so they can talk to him. Unfortunately for him, the officers did see him throw it, so they go around and they end up finding him. At this point, everything he's worked hard for is at jeopardy. He could quickly become a felon. However, because of a technicality in Mississippi law, he gets off with a misdemeanor.
Through the gun, so they found the gun with no clip. That's a misdemeanor. Because it wasn't like...
Well, while this is going on and he's sitting in a jail cell, he does receive some very good news.
And while I'm there, I get an acceptance letter from Clark Atlanta University.
So now he has the amazing opportunity to play on Clark Atlanta's basketball team and to go to school for free. Well, after presenting this to the court, the judge thankfully allows him to get out of jail just 2 days before orientation.
What day do you start orientation? He let me out 2 days before orientation, so I couldn't do no gang banging or nothing.
This was a close call, but thankfully they let him off easy and he's able to now focus on... Well, is he? Oh, hell nah. You'd think that catching that case would scare him straight, like everything I've worked hard for almost was out of my hands. Like now I'm gonna focus on basketball and school and definitely stay out of trouble. But nope, Zaire's entrance to Atlanta would be quite the opposite. As soon as he touches down in the city, he links up with his Rolling 60s cousins who now run with BMF. So while his classmates are sleeping in the dorms and kicking it on campus, he's with Big Meech at the club and sleeping in his mansion as well.
So I'm the youngest little dude, you know what I'm saying, young in the club, 17, 18, I'm with Meech and them though.
And as soon as he was introduced to their lifestyle, he fell in love with it and was willing to do anything to impress Big Meech, including trapping and moving weight while being a full-time college student. So just like that, an 18-year-old Zaire is risking his freedom once again. And unfortunately, during his second semester, it would all catch up to him. While heading down the interstate with 75 pounds in his car, a Georgia State trooper gets behind him. He throws some of the bags out of the window, but unfortunately they catch up to him before he can get rid of it all. And just like that, Zaire is arrested and is facing a...
Look at that. All to impress a motherfucker. Meech home. Meech is not finna reach out to him at all. Like, that's crazy, bro.
Facing a serious Class A felony. While enrolled as a college student, he's now facing up to 8 years in prison. At this moment, everything he's ever worked for is now way out of the window. They caught him red-handed with serious weight, and he's going to be sitting in prison for quite some time. Well, long story short, he pleads guilty to the felony, and now his future is at the hands of a judge. Somehow he gets another lenient judge who sentences him to
4 months in jail, 10 years probation.
Hopefully they saying this because it's his first felony. Okay, I'll go with that.
Receiving only 4 months for 75 pounds is very strange.
I just said that. Let's go.
In the South. On top of this, during this exact time, BMF was taken down and all of them got 15 to 20 years.
With 4 new...
At the same time, don't that sound strange, y'all? Same time? Okay.
Big arrests. Atlanta police believe they have just about shut down the so-called Black Mafia family. And as our Julia Harding reports, these suspects were hiding out in one of the city's most popular areas.
Anyone tied to BMF typically has an extensive criminal history, so we consider them to be very violent.
Federal agents seized this limo with secret compartments that had almost $1 million hidden inside. An organization that at one time claimed to rule Atlanta. Now agents say that's no longer the case.
So now with all of BMF arrested, Zaire just threw his life away for nothing. You started trapping to impress them, and now you'll probably never see them again. So now that he doesn't have a school to go to or a crew to hang out with, he only has a choice but to return back to Los Angeles.
Yep. Get back to the house, my boy. Crickville.
So right after his release from Fulton County Jail, he makes his glorious return to the wicked, overhill Los Angeles streets. It's now the fall of 2006, and Zaire is back to ground one, hanging out with his 60s homies in the hood. He's now just another failed high school athlete who's back in the hood doing absolutely nothing. We all know some of those, don't we? But not only is he doing nothing productive, he's also in the process of risking his life every single day. Why, you might be wondering? Well, because while he was in Atlanta, his little homie Eric Holder was causing havoc in the streets. So upon Zaire's return to LA, he was putting his life in immediate risk.
Is that him with them dudes? Don't look like him.
It's an early October afternoon, and Zaire and Eric are rolling through the set headed to their local corner store. Zaire has his shirt off and a Bricc sitting in his lap as they get to the store. So when Eric parks the car, Zaire hops out and puts his Bricc under his seat. He then reaches for the back door so he can grab his hoodie and put it on. But that's when he's met with a barrage of gunfire. Shots are flying from all the way across the street, but somehow Zaire is hitting his shoulder. It then ricochets and hits him in his neck, which completely shatters his back. So now he's laying on the floor and can't move anything under his waist. Thankfully, that's when Eric runs around to him, picks him up, and ties him down in the front seat. He then runs around to his side of the car, hops in, and speeds away to the hospital.
They ended up taking me. My boy was panicking, driving 100 miles per hour. I'm like, man, slow down, because I didn't have no feeling, so my neck I'm like, bro.
Thankfully, he ends up surviving after making it to the hospital, but that's when the doctors give him devastating news.
Like, I was in the bed, like when I first got shot, and he was rubbing the bottom of my feet. So what happened, my nerves were shattered. I had fractured my neck. I'm telling them, like, I could feel you rubbing my foot. He's like, no, you can't. You're paralyzed. You'll be, he's like a Middle Eastern dude. You'll be paralyzed forever. You'll never walk again. I'm like, bro, I just felt you rub my feet. He's like, you want to feel me rubbing your feet? I'm like, what the f***?
So for 6 months, he lays in a hospital bed thinking that he'll be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. A whole lot of time to lay there and think about all of his wasted potential. So now he's pissed off at his rivals and he tells Eric to go put in work. So from what we know, Eric Holder immediately hit the streets and started knocking down rivals. So not only did he save his life, but he also allegedly eliminated those who did this to his friends. Eric's loyalty to Zaire was unparalleled. He was basically forever indebted to his life. Well, after months of being angry in a hospital bed, a miracle comes out of nowhere.
We sitting inside the hospital, we watching TV, and I just move my legs up like, and she like, what the f*** are you doing? I'm like, I was like, oh shit, I was trying to get comfortable. And my legs just moved. She like, what the fuck? Like, oh, she ran and got the nurse. Went to rehab, physical therapy after that for like 4 months.
Somehow, after 6 months, he's able to fully recover and get back on his feet. And after his full recovery, he would smartly get out of the LA streets and head back to Atlanta.
Okay.
Now, you may be thinking that this was his wake-up call to get out of the streets, but this wasn't the case at all. Instead, he heads back to Atlanta with a serious mission in mind, and he brings Eric with him.
Okay, what's going on here?
Basically, he wants to become the king of the streets, the powerful leader of the Georgia Rolling 60s. At this time, and really still to this day, the streets in the South had absolutely zero structure. Nobody listened or followed orders from anyone, and it was pretty much every man for himself. No certified OGs, DP.
Do not tell me he went to the A. Bricc, baby. And caused ruckus out there and had them listening to him. If this what they telling me, I'm going to have to hear from somebody that was from the A. I never heard this. This is new to me.
DPs, put-ons, none of that. So essentially what Zaire was trying to do was bring the Los Angeles way to Georgia, where he could have people under him and serving anything he wanted. So in order to do this, he hit the streets hard and recruited new members, guys who were under him and who would do anything he said. And in the process, believe it or not, they took over some serious hoods, and this is how Zaire truly made his name in Atlanta. From the notorious Four Seasons apartments, the West End, and a Southside hood known as
Man, y'all please get in the comments. Please get in the comments and tell me this is a lie. Because if this true, then a lot of shit I took that he was saying, and this brings a lot of clarity to this video. Tell me this is a bullshit. Like, I don't know.
Shady Park. While in the process of expanding the set, Zaire unfortunately brought some havoc to the streets. In typical LA fashion, he began robbing and extorting rappers, a trend that Atlanta had never seen before.
No, that's somebody I robbed that was Gucci best friend.
This is how he becomes known for robbing in Atlanta, somebody that you'd rather have on your side than against you. So he's basically extorting people for friendships, but on the flip side, he's also pretty intelligent. After befriending a local rolling 60 by the name of Pee Wee Longway, he ends up running his bag up like never before. If you're unfamiliar, Pee Wee was a very well-known hustler in the streets of Atlanta, known for running up millions. And because of this, he had connections to the up-and-coming and major rappers in Atlanta.
I met every.
If you've been injured in a car accident, don't call an attorney. Use this AI app instead. That's what I.
Don't just think I'm trying to, discredit this dude, but it's just a lot of little shit I've been seeing. Like it's making, because I haven't done my research. Now this is the research. So please don't get on my trail.
Pee Wee Longway. That's my brother. It's like my brother-in-law.
As they were constantly in studios and surrounded by rappers, they decided to join together and to start a music label. This would be known as Money, Piles, and Ammo, also known as MPA.
Okay, so you guys started rolling together and you guys start MPA together.
We around it so much. Let's pay for some studio time, shoot a couple videos. Let's just see where this goes.
Unfortunately, they had no idea how to properly run a business, but aside from that, Zaire had a special ear for talent. In fact, he discovered Young Thug in 2008 and actually started managing his career early on. Without having him signed to any sort of paperwork, Zaire had him.
So why the fuck we ain't never heard of this? Young Thug? Bricc Baby discovered Young Thug. Oh my God.
In the studio and was also introducing him to some bigger names. In fact, in 2009, he even brought him to LA to try to get him in the studio with Nipsey Hussle.
I started showing him the game with what's going on the West Coast too.
Right.
I took him in front of Nip in like 2009 and told him to work with him. And Nip was like iffy. Thug was slime, man. He was real, like, you know what I'm saying? He was out here robbing, doing all, real regular hood. So
the point is that he was helping out Atlanta artists and he had a really good ear for talent. So not only does he have a potentially major label at his hands, but he's also doing pretty well financially. In fact, in 2009, he copped a nice condo in Sandy Springs, a fly whip, and he was just doing his thing. Once again, things are truly looking good for him, but sadly, this is when he's met with some terrible luck. October 22nd, 2009. It's a Thursday night in North Atlanta, and Zaire is headed down Interstate 19, headed towards downtown. As he's cruising down, a Georgia State Patrol gets behind him and runs his tags. Unfortunately, he never registered the car, so the officer hits the cherries.
Ah shit, here we go again.
Zaire knows that he's riding dirty as a convicted felon, so he smashes on the pedal. Now he's on a high-speed chase, cutting in and out of traffic in Buckhead, and then skirt, he smashes into a pole. Just like that, the officers are able to pull him out of the car and they find weapons inside.
Stupid.
This time, it's no joke because he's facing 4 separate felonies. So already being a convicted felon.
Number 1, fleeing and attempt to ELU. Salute. Number 2, fleeing and attempt to ELU. 3, insurance. No insurance. 4, law enforcement. 5, possession of firearm by a convicted felon. Yep. 6, suspended registration. 7, use possession of marijuana. Okay.
Felon, he's looking at up to 12 years in prison. But somehow, once again, Zaire is able to completely avoid prison and only get a few months in jail.
What?
A convicted felon and documented rolling 60s crip only gets a few months in jail for 4 separate felonies. That makes no sense in my mind. Well, once again, he gets off easy and he's right back on the streets in early 2010. But not for long. On July 28, 2010, he would have another high-speed chase while on probation. And yet again, he's caught with a weapon and facing 10 years in prison. But mysteriously, the judge lets him off easy and he only does 18 months.
I'm keeping my comments to myself. Let's go.
Now, before you call him a snitch or an informant, do understand that this is Fulton County, which is a complete joke. Well, regardless, it's now 2012 and the MPA boss returns to the streets. While he was away, Pee Wee Longway was able to discover young rappers Lil Durk, Rich Homie Quan, and a group called the Migos.
Rich Homie Quan before he came out. I'm hearing 21 Savage before he came out.
So as soon as Zaire got out of prison, he was connected with them and actually started helping their careers. Not only did he pay for their studio time and connect them with rappers, but he also provided them with protection. Durk being an outsider from Chicago and the Migos being suburban wannabes, they both could use some protection. But most importantly, the biggest thing he provided was protection whenever the rappers went to LA. In fact, he even brought Future to LA for the very first time.
You know what I'm saying? I've been that person, like bringing them out here. Like I had Future, I turned LA on the Future. I was listening to Dirty Sprite 1. I brought them out here to do a song with Nip.
Essentially, he was every rapper's connection whenever they'd go to LA. He was the first and only call. Remember this, because it will be very important. Well, as we know, everyone around him and Pee Wee was getting rich and famous during this period. And after a while, they got kind of tired of being the guys in the background, and they wanted to try rapping for themselves. So Zaire would become MPA Shitro or MPA Bricc Baby, and Pee Wee was still Pee Wee Longway. Early on, things were looking bright for the duo, as they had the help of Durk, Future, Young Thug, Gucci Mane, and more. Basically, because of everything they had.
Okay, y'all, I'm gonna leave it at that, and then I'm gonna do a part 2. But this shit crazy. Y'all like, comment, subscribe. It's your boy Big Rob, and it's Big Rob Reacts. Stay tuned to part 2.